Okay, I'm going to go through a couple of issues that we've got with VectorStyler now. We're currently working on the latest version at time of recording, which is version 1.3.006. I've also got up the driver information here, so you can sort of see diagnostic-wise what's going on. You can tell when touch is engaged, even if touch isn't affecting things because of palm rejection. And you can also tell when the pen is there, what the pen type is, blah, 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 all the detail about that. So that's really cool. As well, hopefully this helps to debug these two main issues. Now, the first of these two issues that we're going to go through, to me, I think it's pretty standard kind of stuff. So this isn't something unique that I haven't seen before. I'm not going to pretend that like, oh, I don't know why this is happening. I know exactly why it's happening for the most part. It's because it's using a technology for doing your shape painting with the shape paint tool. That wouldn't be ideal. Now, let's go to the shape tool here, path brush tool, lovely. And let's begin the joy. So first things first, we're just going to draw a really simple square. Okay, seems fair enough. Now we're going to try and color in that square. Now, as we go along, I'm not sure if you can see this, but visually, it's not keeping up at all. Now, I'm going to go through and hopefully cover off what I think are all those little parts that it had missed. Yeah, just putting a little maximum pressure strokes here to get that covered. I think I've got them all covered, but I can't be sure because it keeps showing weird glitches all through it. Let's let go and see what we get. No, didn't get them. Not a problem. Let's just pinch zoom in here and get to it, right? So again, you can see the touch points are there. Let's try and zoom. By bringing our fingers apart, nothing happened. If we let go, still nothing happening. And in fact, what's actually happening now is it's creating this line between the two touch points. It thinks that I can't pinch zoom in. Instead, it thinks that I'm trying to draw with my fingers on this tool. And you're like, there's no pen data, right? In the diagnostics, no pen data coming through at all. So to zoom in, you'd have to control shift. So I'm just going to give you a reference dot here so we know where we're going. So you can get a sense of scale. Here we are. So we're going to do some much more finer work this time. Now already, we're not exactly getting an ideal situation. But this should be a solid blob. Nope, still missed a spot. This is my issue with this, right? You can't do very good work if you can't tell where it has or hasn't connected properly, you know? That's going to create a lot of extra rework, touch-up work after the fact. So those are the two main issues here. Now I'm going to quickly start jumping through settings so you can see that this isn't just isolated to one configuration, but happens regardless. So let's go to the next one. And while I'm doing that, I'll also explain something else here. So in terms of the actual device performance, this is all running on, 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. It's got an i9-14900K CPU and a 5080 for the GPU, RTX 5080. So I think in terms of system performance and specs, it's pretty high spec machine. I would not expect to see these kinds of performance issues happening so quickly, even using the technologies being applied for it. So let's just go first step here. We're going to toggle on use tablet driver and let's progress. So restart. We don't need to save our, wondrous piece of art there. I'm sure the world will be a better place without that. And it loads back in. Here we go. Great. Straight back into it. Let's see. Now already it's hit that wall much quicker and it's very obvious. So clearly the pen driver was a better option of the two for getting this done. And once again, zooming does not work. Also, you'll note that it just completely overrode everything there on that because of how bad the performance was. It couldn't even keep up. So it gave up completely when I touched somewhere else. So that's interesting. I didn't notice that till now. And then the last one on this is here. Let's get into it. Settings. So we're going to turn that off because that didn't work very well anyway. And we're also going to go to our performance tab. Instead of using OpenCL, let's try NVIDIA CUDA. Restart again. Don't save. Okay. New file. And here we go again. So drawing through. Lots of squigglies. Starting to do a lot of weird stuff here. As you can see, I'm not doing anything particularly interesting in that top left corner, but look at what it's doing over there. Isn't that wondrous? And of course, it's starting to struggle to really track what I've done here, as you would expect. I'm now moving quite around a lot here, and it can't keep up. And pinch zoom also being wondrous. And we know that this is going to happen regardless. So something else here, if I'm just using single point touch, as you can see on diagnostics, and I go through, you'll actually notice that the same glitches occur regardless. It just takes a bit longer because there's less data being transferred through as you do the movements. But it gets to the same point eventually as well. And it's because of the technology. So if this was instead of using these stroke approaches like this, it was instead using bitmap raster and isolating that to a high-res separate layer while you were drawing with it, doing an auto trace with a configuration on smoothing for it, then you'd eventually get back to a place whereby, you know, you would have something that works quite effectively for this. But we don't have that being used. It's using strokes with outline strokes and ability to combine. So it is what it is. Okay. Last setting. Software. Restart that and don't save that. So we'll get to the final one for this and then we'll see that it doesn't actually matter what configuration or options you've got, you'll get the same issue. Here we go. New file, same tool, same two tests. First one first, drawing around. And already the weirdness is happening. Trying to fill in a space, and again, still happening. And latency is now an issue. Yep, and same for the touch, single point touch. Again, it's just going to be a question of how long, not if, before this delay occurs. Already squiggles are happening. Yep. And there we go. Latency is already occurring. Pinch zoom does not work. Once again, you can see the touch points in diagnostics, but you won't get that happening. And that's it. I think that's about all there is to say for it. So, do I think that both issues can be fixed? Maybe. Maybe you might be able to do something to fix the performance on it. I'm not sure how you get around the pen performance one because of the technology and the approach being used to make it work. How big a deal is it? Well, if we zoom right in here, so we're working in a really small canvas space, as you can see by reference to what I just did before, it still happens. Right, and there's these weird visual aberrations happening. See, it's like glitching out. So the problem here is that you can think that you've covered everything, But see those little fine details where there's something missed? You've got to go through again and touch that up. And that's not ideal, right? When you have to keep doing that with your work. Or you have to work in really tiny strokes.